But in terms of the league, every game now is must win. Eberechi Eza very pleasantly was spotted in training earlier today, which is just brilliant news, man. That Martin Odegaard is injured again. Like, I'm seriously beginning to think this man is made out of Rizla. He's Captain Rizla, honestly. Because I'm not sure if we should be talking about extending Mikel Arteta's contract right now, whilst we don't know what's going to happen in the league or the Champions League. About Miles Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri potentially both being moved on in the summer, which is such a heartbreaking story if it turns out to be true. That would be really impressive if we were able to swoop in and get Morgan Rogers. I would love that. I rate that guy so highly. I think his profile is perfect. Yeah, thanks for joining, man. This is going to be a quick run through of some of the stories and rumours that I've heard today. And of course, a quick look ahead to what is quite simply a gigantic game for the Arsenal against Bournemouth on Saturday. There are no more mediocre games that we can just breeze past or just breeze through or just go through the motions. Every game now till the end. Every game, literally every game. Well, actually, maybe not every game, because we didn't have to beat Sporting Lisbon on Tuesday. We just happened to do it. The Eza very pleasantly was spotted in training earlier today, which is just brilliant news, man. I remember finding out that Eza was injured when I was actually in my seat at Wembley for the Manchester City game in the Carabao Cup final, and just my heart just sinking. And it sinking because obviously Eberechi Eza is not just because he's a really good player, but because he was in really good form. And there was all this 4 to 6 weeks, and I was like, oh, come on. As it turns out, I mean, the Carabao Cup final was, 2.5 weeks ago? So it's only been sort of 2 to 3 weeks, so half that time, which is just such a boost. And particularly as well as we hear, I don't know if this is confirmed, but, by all accounts, this is where we get into the rumour element of this video, that Martin Odegaard is injured again. Like, I'm seriously beginning to think this man is made out of Rizla. He's Captain Rizla, honestly. It just feels like all season, this guy, he plays 2 or 3 games and he's gone again for a period of time. Now, I don't know how substantial... here's the other thing about this. The news came out from the Norwegian coach, not from Mikel Arteta, from the Norwegian national coach. How about just be transparent with us? All this weird, not sure, there's still one more training session to go, I don't know, just gets a bit tiring, to be honest. But yeah, looks like it could be one out, one in, with Ebby coming in and Martin Odegaard coming out. And based on sort of both players' form right now, I don't think that's such a bad thing. But let's see what happens. This could all be for nothing. Maybe Odegaard might lead the team out against Bournemouth on Saturday. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Just quickly on Mikel Arteta, more rumours. I think they started first circulating maybe about 2 weeks ago that there were talks for an extension to his contract, which is interesting for me because I'm not sure if we should be talking about extending Mikel Arteta's contract right now, whilst we don't know what's going to happen in the league or the Champions League. If he does get an extension and we've won the league, I wouldn't have any issue with that. If he gets an extension and we've won the Champions League, I wouldn't have any issue with that. If we extend these contracts and then we go crashing out of the Champions League at some stage in the next 4 weeks or so, and then we don't win this league, that will be very interesting to see people's reactions. I know what my reaction to that will be. About Miles Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri potentially both being moved on in the summer, which is such a heartbreaking story if it turns out to be true. I'm a massive fan of both those guys, and the drop off this season, I could have seen it with Nwaneri. With Nwaneri, I've never felt. It always feels like he's uncomfortable. He wants to be playing more, and that he would probably be vocal about it, even though, ironically enough, he doesn't come across as a very vocal young man. But it just gives the impression that he just wants to play all the time. I know there was a behind-the-scenes game, I think, to try and get Gabriel Jesus back up to speed at the end of December, and he requested to play in that. And then obviously 2 weeks after that, he's then being loaned out to Marseille. could kind of see maybe where that could transpire with him. But this time last year, there is no way I could have seen Miles Lewis-Skelly not playing for Arsenal for the next 10 to 15 years. And the speed at which he's derailed at Arsenal is quite something. And it would really break my heart if even one of them left Arsenal, let alone both. And particularly, and I'm going to struggle to say these words, but particularly Miles Lewis-Skelly, if he was to go to Manchester United. And let me tell you something now, Arsenal. If you do sell Miles Lewis-Skelly to Man United, it better be for super money. So I'm talking 80 million. You know, that would really kill me. Seriously. I think there's going to be a lot of departures at Arsenal, at least six names. When you think of the likes of potentially Martin Odegaard, Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly, Ben White is another one, Norgard is another one, Gabriel Jesus is a very obvious one. There's also Martinelli and Trossard, and the rumours are that one of them will be moving on. I don't think that's a massive surprise to anyone. But there's also a sort of side rumour that comes along with that we're willing to give Martinelli an extension to his current contract as long as he's prepared to accept that he's a squad player. So basically accept that you're going to be having seasons at Arsenal very similar to this one. And I, for one, if he does accept that, then I'm willing to, as an Arsenal fan, from a fan's perspective, I'm cool with him staying. I think Trossard should go. I think he should go. And I've loved Leandro Trossard. And I don't want him to go with any malice, but I just think we can do better than you now. You're a really good player, but we can do better. Martinelli, we can do better than you in terms of a consistent basis, a regular starter. But if you're willing to be a squad player, I'd keep him. Because he's younger. Maybe just based on the fact that he's younger, I'll probably keep him over Trossard. But there you go, guys. That's it. Those are the rumours. Those are the stories. Who knows how much of that is true? But always good to speak on these things. And looking ahead to the Bournemouth game now, it's going to be very tricky. They've had 23 days of rest, I heard somewhere, or something along those lines. Or they haven't played since the 23rd of March, or something like that. I forget the actual stat now, but the bottom line is, guys, they've had a big rest. Yeah, a big rest that we haven't had. So will that be advantageous for them? Maybe it could be, maybe it should be. But look, the bottom line is we're better than Bournemouth. We're at home and we've got bigger fish to fry than what they have. So there's no real excuses. I don't care how much rest they've had. We simply have to get the job done. It is so important. Imagine putting ourselves 12 points ahead of City before they have to go to Chelsea. And you know what? There was a little period of time when I was like, Chelsea, they're washed. City will go there and destroy them. I don't think so. I still think there's a big chance Chelsea get something from that game. And even if it's just a draw, that is beautiful. 11 points clear, 12 points clear, same thing for me. It would render the result at the Etihad almost pointless. Not completely pointless, but yeah, if we didn't get the result we wanted, let's just put it that way, we could still have plenty of breathing space. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Leave your comments in the section below about some of these stories, some of these rumours. And yeah, subscribe, guys. Support us, man. You know what I mean? We're doing our thing. So support the thing. Big up yourselves. I'm Elts from Arsenal Bloodline. And I'm out. See you later.